So we're going to kick off with Tuesday's Times. Josh, what are they leading with?
Well, they have first of all, they've got a nice picture. I don't really know much about football, but they've got a picture. There's a big England match coming up, so they've got some of the wags on the front there. Which
That's
is
nice.
Sweet.
Good, yeah.
Of them. And but the big story is EU rejects new deal for return of migrants.
What are the EU doing now, Josh?
OK, basically, they had a meeting, the government, and what they wanted to say was anybody who'd claimed asylum within a European country before coming over to the UK, we should be able to send them back.
Right.
And essentially, the EU is saying no, but it seems like it's like a rejection. But actually, the real issue is that there are internal issues within the EU where they're already having problems internally because they're trying to they can't make a deal with us until they've sorted out their own thing, and it's all about spreading the pain.
So it's not a curmudgeonly kind of thing because we left.
Even though we'd like to think that. Like, we could go, oh, they're big, but actually the reality is they're not in a position to negotiate because they can't even sort their own...
Is that true, Leo? Do you think they're in no position to help?
Well, the EU are having lots of pushback from all their member states because they've got this thing where each state in the EU has to take 30,000 migrants, and if they don't, they've got to pay £20,000 each, which actually, considering the cost, it seems like an incredible bargain for us. I mean, I wish we could get into that deal. But I mean, there's huge pushback from countries like Hungary, which they've decided to keep their culture and everything, and preserve it instead of just open it up to this. I mean, at the moment, EU politicians, like politicians across the West, they don't seem to see themselves as politicians of countries. They're politicians of economies. So if it's good for the economy, if you can bring in low-skilled workers, they see it as good.
When it comes to the small boats crisis, though, isn't this really a matter between England and France, or the UK and France, rather than bringing the EU into it? Because according to this article, Macron is saying he's repeatedly rejected a bilateral returns agreement. He insists Britain must address the issue at EU level. He's almost saying, just go to dad.
No, he's absolutely passing the buck.
Yeah,
Of course he doesn't deal with it. Now, we do have our own individual deals with France. We're going to be talking about one of those stories later.
Yeah.
But, yeah, this is absolutely him just being like, no, I don't want to deal with it.
It's always been a bit like that, a bit truculent.
Yeah, I mean, and the problem starts at the EU's borders. I mean, it starts further back than that, but, I mean, if the EU could control, exercise more control when people come into the EU, then, and slow them down as they come across.
Is there anything else on the front cover of the Times that we should be talking about?
Yes. Top universities give more clearing spaces to foreign students. So, look, we kind of dealt with the story about a month or two ago.
Yeah.
There are less spaces now for British students. Now we've got clearing because of A-level results coming out and whatnot. And it's actually the discrepancy of spaces in certain universities, like University of Glasgow, there are 4 courses available for British school leavers, whereas they have 655 international students.
Yeah, but this is about money.
Of course,
because international students pay more.
They pay, I think, triple the amount.
They do, and the universities are desperate for money. They're always scrabbling for money.
And also, students should love this because they're the most sort of woke, hey, yeah, we should have open borders. It's like, yeah, all right, we'll have open borders, and you can't go to university because
they should reject university places and say, no, I demand you give them to a foreign student.
They've got no choice because this is a double whammy because, of course, this is the first year where they're actually having to work for their grades.
No, this is, you're being flippant, but it's true. But, I mean, this year, because the teachers were marking their own A-level students' grades during the pandemic, and so they overly inflated it, and all these people got amazing results and got to go to the universities they wanted to. Now, because, they're being marked properly, 1 in 5 are not going to get their first choice. Yeah. So you've got this joint thing of there's very few places because they're all going to the foreign students. At the same time, fewer people are getting the places they want.
Yeah.
Bit of a mess.
Yeah. University's rubbish anyway, though. So
yeah, don't bother.
Yeah.
Apprenticeships all the way. Right. I wish I'd have done that. Anyway, we're going to move on.
I can't imagine. What apprenticeship would you have done?
I would have been a great...
Woodwork.
Carpenter.
Yeah, I can see.
It's good enough for Jesus. OK.
I wouldn't know.
We're going to go on to the Mail.